The next question is being received. Someone asked me a question. What madhab methodology we follow, and which madhab is the correct one to follow? Someone asked a question like, what madhab or the methodology of a religion do I follow, and what is the correct path it has to be followed to be on the correct way. The correct madhab to follow, that is being going back to the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, and since between that time and up till today, there were four. There not only many people are aware of, there are four sunnah schools of thought, that is Hanafi madhab and the Shafi madhab, Hanbali madhab and the Maliki madhab. So what happens during that time, many madhabs was spread all over the world. Let's, for example, in the eastern part, the Hanafi madhab was being followed in the eastern countries, and in sub-African countries there are Maliki madhab, and I'm sure there are Shafi madhab. In the Arab countries they follow like a Hanbali madhab, and some of them they follow Shafi madhab, and according to the countries being spread all over the world, different madhab, wherever the population had went all the way gone through. But the majority of but the most of the madhab that has been spread all over the world, that was the Hanafi madhab, because this was, now let's understand this, there were not only like four schools of thought. For an example, other than these four great scholars of Islam, may peace be and blessing be upon all of them, they were not the only one. They just become a very popular because of their opinion. For an example, during that time, other than these four scholars, that's the fifth one who give his own opinion. That does not mean somebody just stick to his own madhab. For an example, I'm going to give one hadith. There's one of the Prophet, when Mu'adh bin Jabal was going to Yemen, and the Prophet ﷺ asked him, what are you taking with you, how are you going to judge? And Mu'adh bin Jabal radiallahu anhu, he replied that I'm taking the book of Allah and I'm going to judge people according to the book. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, what if you do not find the answer in the book of Allah? Then Mu'adh bin Jabal radiallahu anhu, he said that I'm going to judge according to the Sunnah, whatever you have taught us. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, what if you do not find something which I have not taught you, and how would you judge? And then the Mu'adh bin Jabal said, I will judge based on, for example, he just mentioned something like a commentary of the hadith, is like he simply answered that I'm going to judge based on the situation, based on circumstances, and based on many factors, and then I will judge and I will give the justice. Then the Prophet ﷺ replied him, okay, now you are on the right path, because now you stick to the main source, that is Quran. Then you stick to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that the hadith and the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ. And then after that you left the matter broad, based on the situation, and based on experience, and based on many logical answers and many circumstances, based on many factors, and based on that I will respond that. So now that makes him, he is on the right path. Now for an example, how does the madhab, why people do stick with the madhab? Now for an example, this is something very important. If someone, how do people get misguided sticking to the main madhab? For an example, someone asked me, can I drink a water in a cup? I would say, okay, that's a permissible, you can drink that. And someone comes to me, so now that's a person A, that's a number, that's a A. And someone asked me, can I drink water in my hands? And there's a person B, and I would say, okay, that's a permissible. And third person who came to me, can I drink a water in a jug? I would say, okay, that's a permissible, you can drink that. Now that's a C. And now there's a third person who is a D, who come to me, can I drink a water in a bowl? I said, okay, that's a permissible. Now these people ask me something which is not contradicting Quran, which is not contradicting Sunnah. Basically they ask me what is halal, what is permissible. I would give my opinion. Okay, you can have it, because as long as it's not fall into the category of disliked, it is not fall into the category of haram, it is permissible. You can drink whatever you like it, unless the cup is not impure and your hand is not impure. Now that's a different question. If somebody asks me, can I drink in a water, in a cup, in a hand, in a jug, in a bowl, okay, you can, it's permissible for you to do that. Now what happens that these people are not misguided because they ask me simple question. Now each person, like person A, person B, person C, person D, and there's a person A for an apple. Okay, and now there's a person, his generation, his children came and they started learning in Islam. This his children saw their father was drinking the water in a cup, and now his children started drinking the water in a cup because they saw drinking their father in a cup. Now they would not come to analyze, they would not come to investigate that we can drink in a jug, we can drink in a hand, we can use other sources as long as it is not haram and this is permissible. That does not fall into the category of haram, because this is not contradicting Quran, this is not contradicting the Prophet ﷺ. It's totally permissible. You can drink it however you like. It's okay, as long as something, the utensil or the cup or something is not pure, you can drink it. Now his children stick to the cup. Now next second generation, they saw their fathers, their grandfathers drinking in a cup, and everybody started drinking in a cup, because they do not understand that this is permissible to drink in other utensils, or there are other sources to use that, but they stick to the same thing. For them, that becomes their madhhab. This is the way we're supposed to be drinking. And the problem with these people are, if we tell them there are other sources, you can use that, he will say, no, I will stick to my grandfather, and because his grandfather did the same thing and his grandfather did the same thing, so I'm just going to stick to the same line. That's fine, you can do that, but as long as it's not haram. So this becomes like how the madhhab has been splitted from other people, because the people or the Muslim who stick to their madhhab, they do not want to leave their line. They just want to stick on the same thing, because there's a beautiful ayah in chapter 6 verse number 153, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَنَّ هَذَا الصِّرَاطَ مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. And the similar ayat has been repeated in the chapter 3 verse number 102 and 103, where Allah says, وَعَاتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Allah says, stick to the Quran and the Sunnah and do not make the farqa between that. So those people, I'm talking about those people who stick to their line. For an example, those people who say that we are like 100% Hanafi, and I'm going to be saying Hanafi because I had a recently conversation with a scholar, and he said, I'm 100% Hanafi, I'm just going to stick with that. But I'm going to ask them a question. Who told you to be 100% Hanafi? Why don't you choose other opinion? He said, I'm just going to stick with that. That's it. I mean, they have their own opinion, I have my own opinion. But if somebody would ask me like, okay, what madhab do methodology I would I follow? I do not follow any madhab. I'm not a Hanafi, I'm not a Shafi, I'm not a Hanbali, I'm not a Maliki. I'm just spreading the word of Allah, that's the Quran, and then just spreading the word of what is the Sahih Hadith. So this is what every Muslim is supposed to be following, and the rest of the matter should be left very broad and not sticking with their own scholars, because these people are just like sticking with their own madhab, and they just want to be Hanfi, and the humbly people, they just want to be humbly, and the other people, they just want to be following their own madhab. So basically he does not follow that. We follow the methodology of the Prophet ﷺ and the Salaf Salihin. That's what the madhab that is being very corrected up till today, and we have to and how this happens actually. This happens mostly, how this has been divided. It was because of the time when there was no technology and there was not a much sources how to filter the hadith. Some of them, because there was no computerized time era at that time, but now we have a computer, now we have a technology, now it's so easy to find the chain of narrations to the technology. Let's say we have a whole complete database, and in the database we have approximately hundreds and thousands of hadiths in one database. In that database is like a completely dictionary, and each hadith has a chain of narration. On each chain of narration, there's we can filter that out, and we can investigate on each sahaba or tabain, tabain, and the next generation. We can investigate on each person, who was he, and then we come to the conclusion, okay, this hadith is zaif, this is fabricated, this is maudu, and this is sahih hadith. So we stick to the sahih hadith, and the rest of the matters we'll leave it to the broad-minded. We should not be like sticking to a particular madhab, that madhab, and that madhab. Everybody have the last names. Some of them call like Hanfi, some of them call Maliki, some of them Shafi. Why you have to do that? Because this is dividing the ummah. In order for me to stop these things, we have to go back to the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ. Our main akidah is we all believe on the Book of Allah. And the second thing, we believe